Hey everyone, it's me. It's been a while. Apologies for the long silence, but in light of everything that went down, I thought it was best to take some time away and reflect and to contemplate my thoughts. Now, I imagine a lot of you are probably surprised to see me again. I left a little while back with only a community post on my channel page, but after thinking it over, it doesn't feel right to just leave the channel in the dusts without any videos, without any updates. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about everything that went down. I'm going to give my thoughts on it, and I'm just going to be as honest as I possibly can be. Towards the end of the video, I will also tell you guys what I plan to do moving forward. So first off, I just want to tell you guys how I've been in the past month and what I've been doing. And I'm not gonna lie, the past month has been pretty rough. I've been through a lot of emotions. Lots of stress, anxiety, depression, bad thoughts, the whole deal. It's been pretty hard. I went to therapy. I've gone several times, and it's been very helpful, and I definitely intend to keep going. To those of you who sent me supportive messages during this time, I know I wasn't able to reply to them, but I did read a lot of them, and you have no idea how much they helped me. When I was at my lowest point and everything seemed to suck, and I had absolutely no willpower to move forward, those supportive words really helped me pick myself up. And I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. Now, before I continue, I want to start off this video with an apology to the people I've hurt and to the Fire Emblem community at large. I know that may surprise some of my viewers. I've seen the discussions taking place in my comment section. Lots of people debating whether or not I am guilty or innocent. Some people claim I was unjustly framed. I've even seen some people say Mangs did nothing wrong. Look, I did plenty of things wrong over the years. And in the end, it caught up with me. I have not always lived up to the standards expected of a big-time content creator. But for what it's worth, I've loved this community and the people in it. Every day I have been able to do this as my full-time job. I've been able to play Fire Emblem for you all, and it has been one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten. Every day I've endeavored to entertain you all, and it's been an absolute blessing. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I've been so grateful that I have been allowed to do this for so long. But in the end, my recklessness caught up with me, and as a result, I've likely disappointed or hurt many of you. All I can offer now are my words. I'm sorry. For those of you not in the loop, on July the 8th, I was accused of sexual assaults by fellow YouTuber and former friend Goosephone from a time we shared a bed together in Canada at the Anime North convention. Shortly after her accusation, some other girls came out as well, posting private logs from my pasts, showing flirting, sexting, and other inappropriate messages. This snowballed into people dragging up old statements and offensive jokes I've made over the years, and every dumb thing I've ever said, or every bad thing I've ever done, was dragged out into the public. I know a lot of people joke about cancel culture. I know I do, frequently. But when it actually happens, it's not something to be taken lightly. I have never before been suicidal. But on the night that this happened, I tried to take my own life. Had it not been for two good friends intervening, Pansegraf, who came up here to spend a lot of time with me, and Jake, who kept in touch via phone, I would not be here today. They saved my life. I'm not saying this to make you guys feel uncomfortable, but I really want to emphasize how hard something like this can hit you. It doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone you know. Your friends, your families, your loved ones, your colleagues. Everyone is dragged into it. Being publicly accused online, having people portray you as a horrible monster, And having your private self shown to the entire world is horrifying. I have no other words to describe it. I wouldn't wish something like this on my worst enemy. I know some of you just want me to come back, to pretend like none of this ever happened and just continue on with business as usual. Show the middle finger to Twitter. Just say, screw you guys, I'm gonna keep doing what I do. And yeah, it's tempting. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. I could just take zero responsibility and blame everything on cancel culture. But at the end of the day, I don't think this really shows a lot of self-reflection on my part. If I am incapable of taking responsibility for my own actions, what does that prove? If I just point the finger at everyone else and say it's their fault for calling me out, it proves nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think cancel culture is toxic and destructive, and I think it harms a lot more than it helps. But the truth is that over the years, I have put myself in a position to be cancelled. That's on me. I'm far from a perfect person. I'm not even close to a perfect person. But I'm not the monster they portray me as. Look, I'm not going to make any excuses. Flirting with female fans over the years who latched onto me due to my status as a YouTuber was unhealthy and wrong. The way I treated my first designer, Mina, was unfair to her, and it was inappropriate to our working relationship. Even the way I acted at Anime North in misreading signals was wrong. I make no excuses for any of that. However, I will make one defense of myself in this video, and that is regarding the claims of sexual assault. A lot of people were confused when I left. Some people claimed that I admitted to all guilt, which is not the case. In my resignation, I admitted to having problems with women and alcohol, which is true. I admitted to having hurt people, which is also true. But I never admitted to sexually assaulting anyone. I'm going to reiterate what I said on the day that I got accused. The morning when the incident happened, I was sharing a bed with a girl that I had flirted back and forth with for a long time. A bed that she insisted we share during the convention. I was half asleep, hungover from the night before, and I misread the situation and crossed the line when I cuddled up to her in bed. When Goose later confronted me about it and said she wasn't comfortable with what had happened, I was a little surprised at first, but then I apologized to her. We made up, we talked it out, and we remained friends. We even continued making several videos together on my channel. In one of them, our pair-up, we talk about how much fun we had at the convention. Over the past year, we have talked with each other and joked around frequently, all the way up until just a few days before the accusation. Look, I'm not calling anyone a liar. I can't tell someone else how an incident affected them, or how they're allowed to feel about it afterwards. But the way she describes those events just don't match up with my account of what happened. She claims things that I didn't do. That I was rubbing her up and down, that I was smelling her hair, that I pressed myself to her butt. I didn't do any of those things. Even when we talked about the event after the fact, it was never once described to me as sexual assaults. And we talked about it many times. A lot of people have been asking, if I'm not guilty of what Goose accused me of, why did I step down? Why did I delete my Twitter? Why not stick around and keep fighting until I've proven my innocence? Well, while what I did wasn't sexual assaults, I still don't think what I did was okay, and I am ashamed of it. Also, given the situation, I didn't really have much choice. Trying to defend yourself in the face of an accusation that is your word against someone else's just tends to make things worse. Most people's minds were already made up when the accusation was made. The best thing I could do in such a situation was to take a step back and let things run their course. That doesn't mean my apology at the time wasn't sincere. I meant every word of what I said. I feel awful about what happened. I never wanted to hurt anyone. At the end of the day, this is a he said, she said situation. I can deny it as much as I want, but all I have is my word. I know my track record of flirting with women doesn't paint me in a good light, but I want to emphasize this. I know my humor can sometimes make me come across as a little creepy or inappropriate, but I am not a person who forced myself on women without their consent. I take no for an answer. I would never sexually assault anyone. All I can do now is just to apologize for what went down and try to learn from this situation so I can be better in the future. After I left the community, a lot of details behind the accusations came to light. It turns out that this wasn't a series of separate incidents, but rather a coordinated effort to take me down. Screenshots of their group chat where they organized all this got leaked to the public. I'll be honest, I wasn't very surprised when I learned about this. I always figured something of the sort would happen sooner or later, that a group of people would band together and come after my channel and really try to take me down. But I always assumed that the attack would come from the outside, not from the inside. Not from people I had known for years. Look, I understand some of the people in this group that when they heard Goose's story that they felt a desire to support her. In their shoes, I probably would have done the same thing. But what really gets to me is that in this group full of people that I had known for years, not one of them bothered to reach out to me and just ask, "Hey man, is this true?" I know some of these people really well. I made videos with them. I met some of them in Canada in what I consider one of the best weekends of my life. I talked to them frequently. They certainly had means of contacting me if they wanted to. And yet, none of them were interested in hearing what I had to say. Not one of them wanted to hear my story. All of them jumped on the accusations without a second thought and immediately proclaimed me guilty. Later on, when one of their own got accused, they suddenly shifted their standards. Suddenly it was a lot more important to be skeptical, and I guess it wasn't as important to believe all victims anymore. Other people in the community called out this hypocrisy for what it was, and I am very grateful for that. I will say this though, I'm being very hard on the people in this group right now. And I really want to underscore that I don't throw everyone who was in this group under the same bus. And I don't think you guys should either. Many of them were there without knowing the full story, and I think a lot of them were just there to offer their support. I know a few of them left once the group turned more malicious. Many of them have later been harassed for their involvement in this group, despite having very little to do with it. Those who were the main driving forces behind that group have been exposed for who they are and what they did. And even some of the people who stuck around have later reached out to me in private and offered their apologies. I don't think they deserve to be hounded for this forever. So now, I want to address some of the crude jokes and offensive statements that were brought back up during this whole ordeal. And I know what some of you guys are going to say. You're going to say, "Mangs, don't apologize to these people. They dug up these jokes with the intent of taking you down." And yeah, they did. I'm well aware of that. I know how cancel culture works. And this is an aspect of it that I really dislike. How people will dig up your history, try to find jokes that you made years ago that have aged poorly, and then put them on display to show everyone what a terrible person you are. It's also pretty dishonest considering many of the people involved knew full well what I had said in the past, but they conveniently chose to ignore it up until the point where it was more convenient to act outraged. But let me be very clear when I'm talking about this. I am not apologizing to the people who tried to tear my channel down. I'm apologizing to the people in my audience and in the community who were legitimately hurt by the remarks that I made. When I look back on some of the things I've said in the past, I honestly can't believe some of it. Yeah, it's true, I've always been a little edgy and inappropriate, but some of the things I've said in the past do make me legitimately feel ashamed. And I really do mean it when I say, I'm sorry. Back in the day when I had a much smaller following, I was kind of secluded into my own little bubble, and I enjoyed stirring up trouble with other communities. I liked offending people. I wanted to show everyone that I didn't care about the consequences, that I could do whatever I wanted or say whatever I wanted. That's why I did and said so many stupid things. I liked being controversial, and some people enjoyed that aspect about me. However, there is a difference between speaking without a filter and going out of your way to intentionally offend people. In the end, that kind of attitude is just sort of immature, and it will just end up hurting people and get you in trouble. So over the years, I tried moving away from that kind of humor. Not completely, I still enjoyed the odd inappropriate joke, but I did try to keep it in moderation. Because I realized that intentionally making people upset wasn't what I wanted to achieve with my channel. Rather, I wanted my videos to be a source of escape and reprieve for all sorts of people. I cannot go back in time and take back what I said, or remove my offensive statements. But for what it's worth, I wouldn't make those jokes or statements today. Because despite what people may think about me, over the years I have grown a little more considerate towards other people's feelings. Before I get to the end of this video, I want to share something with you all. Something that has completely changed my perspective on what I do here on YouTube. Back in my early days, I used to think that the only thing my videos could offer people was a laugh and maybe some background noise when they were bored. I didn't consider what I do very meaningful. But these past few years, I've been getting a lot of messages from my viewers. People showing their appreciation for my videos. People saying that my content helped them get through some really difficult periods of their lives. I've gotten messages from a teenager in the hospital who wrote to me saying he was watching my videos while undergoing chemotherapy, and that they were the only thing he had the energy to watch, and the only thing he was looking forward to in the day. A girl from Germany messaged me saying she used to watch my Let's Plays together with her boyfriend, and after he passed away, she would go back and rewatch those same Let's Plays to help her find closure. I've gotten messages from people saying that they were depressed or even suicidal, and that my videos helped them cope with that. One person in my community told me that if I had not uploaded a video on the day he planned to end his life, he would not be alive today. Messages like these completely changed how I value what I do and the work that I put out. I realized that what I do actually matters, that it has meaning to someone out there, and that really opened my eyes. Maybe to someone from the outside looking in, who only remembers me from my early days on YouTube and never watched my content again, the change in my attitude over the years hasn't been very noticeable. It's easy to think I am the same guy now that I was back in 2016. But for those of you who have followed me since the beginning, and especially those of you who have been present in my communities since its early days, I'd like to think the change was very noticeable. When I look back on the person I used to be many years ago, I'm not proud of who I was. But over the years, your kind comments and encouraging messages have made me want to become a better person. I really mean that. So now, I suppose a lot of you guys are wondering, what happens next? Where do I go from here? Do I just vanish from the face of YouTube and never make another video again? I suppose that would satisfy some people. But I also know that many of you get something valuable out of what I do, and I really enjoy giving you that. Based on the hundreds of supportive messages I've received over the past month, it seems as if some of you still miss my videos. So after thinking it over, I've come to a decision. I will not stop making content on YouTube. I will keep working on myself as a person. I'll keep going to therapy and I'll sort out my issues. That is my promise to you guys. But I will keep doing what I love every day, which is playing Fire Emblem and making videos about it. I may not consider myself part of the Fire Emblem community ever again, and they might not welcome me back in it, which is completely fair. But that does not mean I have to stop playing Fire Emblem. Over the next couple of weeks, I plan to gradually start releasing content again, and I have plans for more than just Fire Emblem. Eventually, I plan to go back to daily uploads. But I will only be active on YouTube. No Discord, no Twitter, no Facebook. I think social media is not healthy for me, and staying away from it is probably the best decision I can make. At the end of the day, making videos is my life's greatest passion, and this YouTube channel has been my sole focus for the past 5 years. I love what I do, and I want to share it with you all. I want my videos to continue making people smile, and I hope you all understand where I'm coming from with this. That is everything I have to say. Thank you for hearing me out. And for those of you who plan to stick around, I'll see you soon. Until then, my name has been Mangs. Thank you for watching.